Many years ago, in a small village shrouded in smoke from the houses and overgrown with weeds from abandoned fields, a bloody legend about an ancient doll circulated. They said that although the doll was not particularly beautiful, it possessed sinister magic. Children who found it seemed to be enchanted by it, refusing to part with it, and soon began to change. After a few days they were gone, and in their rooms, only bloody traces were found at the place of their disappearance. The legend faded, but left a shadow of fear on those who knew about it. In one such village lived a happy family, a mother, a father, and their daughter Leah. Every evening they gathered together for dinner, laughing and sharing stories. Their home was full of warmth and joy, until one day the shadow of the old legend came into their lives. One day when the father went to work, the mother and Leah decided to spend the day in the attic. They were going to tidy up, which meant sorting through piles of old things. Leah, donning an old dusty apron, cheerfully ran around the attic among heaps of debris and worn-out boxes. The mother, focused on cleaning, didn't notice how time flew by. "Mom, look what I found," Leah's joyful cry suddenly rang out. She was kneeling, holding an old doll. At first, the mother looked at the doll with distrust. The doll was worn, with a chipped face and a torn dress. She couldn't say the doll was particularly scary, but there was something strange, almost captivating, in its eyes. "It's kind of creepy," the mother said, returning to her work. She didn't pay much attention and continued tidying up. Leah, on the other hand, was fascinated. In her eyes, the doll acquired a special value, and she clung to it, unwilling to part with it. "Can I take it home?" she asked. The mother nodded, a bit displeased, but didn't object. In the evening, when the whole family gathered for dinner, everything seemed as usual. Leah's laughter and conversations filled the house. But the next day, something changed. Leah, despite her usually good-natured demeanor, became different. There was a sharpness in her eyes, and her smile became strained and malicious. Every day when she came home from school, her gloomy mood intensified, and her interactions with her parents became increasingly aggressive. The mother and father were worried, but seeing how Leah clung to the doll, they thought it might just be a phase of growing up. However, the doll seemed to control her more and more. Leah began to seclude herself with the doll in her room, her anger and irritation accumulating like a storm before the thunderstorm. Several days passed, and the changes became obvious. Leah started refusing food, not responding to questions, and her condition worsened. The parents noticed that the doll had become even more sinister. Its eyes, although just silly glass beads, seemed almost alive. Leah continued to play with it, whispering something to herself. One night, when everyone was asleep, strange sounds echoed in the house again. Leah, restless in her bed, suddenly woke up with the feeling that someone was watching her. She saw the doll on the floor starting to move, its eyes glowing with a strange light. Leah seemed to be in a trance, sitting in the corner and whispering words in a language no one could understand. In the morning, the parents woke up to find Leah's room empty. The doll sat in the center of the bed, its arms and legs covered with strange stains. The only thing in the room besides the doll was bloody traces trailing across the floor, disappearing into the hallway, and eventually leading to the house's exit. The parents, in a panic, searched everywhere for their daughter, but she was nowhere to be found. Police and neighbors came to help, but the search yielded no results. Leah disappeared like many children in the legend, leaving only horrible traces and blood. After that tragic day, the house lost its happiness. The father and mother stopped talking, their family broke apart, and the house became empty and gloomy. Time could not erase the pain of loss, and the doll remained as a grim reminder of what had entered their lives and taken away the most precious thing. They say the doll remained in the house, its eyes shining in the dark, and children who dare to enter this abandoned house feel its presence. The doll waits for its next victim, continuing to draw in those who dare to disturb its dreadful peace. The story of Leah and her doll lives in the village as a sinister warning, a reminder that not all toys are safe, and some may be connected to the darkest forces.